And good morning, everybody. My kids have been up since about 3:30. They were not having a good night, and they just went to sleep about an hour ago, maybe. So here we are. Continuing on with the narrative over the last week is China will likely ban all Bitcoin mining soon. Bitcoin took investors on another roller coaster ride over the weekend after a top regulator in China announced a crackdown on mining, a new tack on the country's ongoing fight against the cryptocurrency. The U.S. Treasury Department announced the businesses must report cryptocurrency at 10,000. You know, they are bringing some regulation, guys. This is a good thing, though. I would not take this. China's warning to Bitcoin miners is certain to push many operations out of the country. At least one Bitcoin observer said he anticipates miners pushed out of China will set up operations in Mongolia, Kazakhstan, and Afghanistan. So, you know, it's really all about the climate effect. Sorry about that. So let's just move on. I mean, we've been hearing this narrative. I don't need to cover that. Charles Hoskinson, who is the creator of Cardano and one of the 8 founders of the Ethereum network, he says, remember, with a proof-of-stake system, you can move your server deployment anywhere in the world via the command line. I wish the Chinese miners the best of luck relocating all their extensive mining equipment somewhere else. And this just shows you a picture of what some of these mining facilities look like. This is just one row. There's several of these rows in this building of all these racks. You know, so it's definitely something to keep an eye on. Now, everybody took the China news and ran with it. Nobody wants to talk about this, though. Bitcoin Mining Council emerges following meeting with Michael Saylor, and Elon Musk. Michael Saylor is of MicroStrategies. He is been wrong on a lot of investments, but we're not covering that. So North America's Bitcoin mining industry appears to be moving towards greater environmental sustainability after MicroStrategy CEO Michael Saylor brokered a successful meeting between Elon Musk and several prominent business leaders. The council is made up of several industry leaders, including Argos Blockchain, BlockCap, Galaxy Digital, which I believe is Mike Novogratz, Hive Blockchain, Hut 8 Mining, Marathon Digital, and Riot Blockchain. They have all agreed to promote energy usage transparency and accelerate sustainability initiatives worldwide. So, you know, there's a couple quotes you can see. So that's the thing, is a lot of these Chinese miners, it's being speculated now that a lot of them are going to make the move to North America because they think that it's going to be safer here than where they are as far as sudden regulation and sudden crackdowns go. You know, China's got a little bit more of a totalitarian vibe than we do. You know, and then here's the other narrative. No Bitcoin bear market in sight. I do not know who Nicholas Merton is, but this is all over the place. You can see this. Tops of the rally usually form sharp peaks or blow off tops, which we haven't really seen yet. You know, I think it was just a large correction that happens semi-regularly. It's one of like 20 that's happened to Bitcoin. Here's another one. Bitcoin bounces after week-long capitulation events. Results in $14 billion in losses. Crypto traders were greeted by green markets on May 24th as the majority of altcoins saw their prices bounce back following last week's downturn. That was the largest deleveraging event since the March 2020 sell-off, according to an on-chain report from Glassnode. Keep in mind, Glassnode is the same one who reported that the 0.01% of wallets, which, you know, have tons. Excuse me. I'm quoting an XRP website on that percentage. Anyway, the high percentage of the whale wallets, the big wallets, they, during this entire drop, were accumulating at a rate that was picking up faster than it had been over the last month. It had been on a decline, and then right when everybody was freaking out, they were gobbling it up. I want to see if that covers it all. Pretty much 15 billion. Yeah, see, you can see. Does it show any of that on here? And And let's see, where is... Oh, there it is. I was going to say, are they another one that's not going to talk about XRP? Bitcoin struggles at resistance. Now support is at 35. I have my spots slightly different, but we'll get into that in a second. I think it's okay. I mean, even on the way up, this is your patterns, you know, and then we just raged right on up out of there. So, you know, you see how these are a little more gradual usually, unless something like this happens. I think that's what you're going to see. I think it's going to come down in here, gain some support, and then slowly start going back up. And we'll go over that in just a second. And here's some more Bitcoin news. The global Bitcoin marketing media machine is not going to be happy with him at all, according to Digital Asset Investor. He cannot wait to watch Ethereum jump Bitcoin before XRP jumps them both. And I can get on board with that real quick. Let's hear what this guy had to say.
Now, at Tokemetrics, we have a very contrarian approach. We think Bitcoin is great technology, but we think Bitcoin's days are almost over. Because Bitcoin was designed to be digital cash, but now it's becoming just purely a store of value. It's becoming digital gold. And the gold market cap is, let's say, 10 to 12 trillion. But if we look at crypto assets as being the next internet, as through DeFi, that's happening on Ethereum. DeFi went from $1 billion to $65 billion in total assets in just 12 months. Now, at Tokemetrics, we have a very contrarian approach. We think Bitcoin is great technology, but
So you heard what he had to say. A little bit of Ripple news. Ripple is on the 2021 CNBC Disruptor 50 companies list alongside with one RippleNet member and Robinhood. Ripple Labs crypto giant has been included in the annual list published by CNBC. Let's actually open that up. It includes Ripple customer Flutterwave and the Robinhood app that allows investors to trade stocks and cryptocurrencies. It shows private companies that have been growing rapidly in the past year along with high-tech development despite the global pandemic that originated in China. It's Robinhood holds first place, marked as the Wall Street frenemy. Flutterwave is in 21st place. Ripple made it onto the list last year, but in 2020 it occupied the 28th place. So let's take a look at that. I haven't actually looked at it. Where did Ripple come in? Patreon's on here. Nubank, Ripple, making waves in crypto regulation. What about changing the structure of the entire global financial system? The banking system, cross-border payments, remittances. What about all that? What do they give you if you go here? Interesting. It doesn't list Jed McCaleb or David Schwartz in this article. The company's on-demand liquidity services use XRP as a bridge between currencies, which it says allows payment providers and banks to process cross-border transactions much faster than they would over legacy payment rails, and that is a fact. Talking about the regulatory hurdles that it's facing, the company has beefed up its board, appointing the former U.S. Treasurer Rosie Rios as a board member. Ripple thinks the U.S. lacks regulatory clarity when it comes to crypto and is hoping to change that. It is, however, threatening to relocate to other jurisdictions if XRP is deemed a security in the U.S. Keep in mind, guys, all their business, for the most part, is in Asia and Africa, a little bit of Europe. It's backed by, Japanese financial service giant SBI, Spanish big Santander. You got Andreessen Horowitz. They are huge. You can find their name all over anything that's popping these days. Lightspeed and Peter Thiel's founder fund, which that's interesting because isn't Peter Thiel a gold bug? Anyway, these guys are both Ripple customers. I believe they're not using ODL. I think they're all using Ripple X, which is their most popular product as of right now. But they have joined forces to accelerate the payment modernization. It doesn't really go into all of it here, but it does talk about how with the payments and adoption of ISO 2022 regulations and standards, which is a global agreement. Let's see if they have, they don't do it here. Let's see. Let's just go to their website real quick, give you guys some background. This is all you got to search for to get here. Let's see. Let's look at the governance. What else do we got here? We got the repository, development, maintenance. What is it? It's a multi-part international standard prepared by the committee. It describes a common platform for the development of messages. When they're talking about messages, Swift is what is a messaging service. They're not talking about like a text. This is the information going back and forth between banks to adjust ledgers and stuff. Let's see here. Yeah, this doesn't really tell me what we were looking for here. Sorry, guys. I didn't even plan on getting into this, but here we are. Let's see if this gives us anything. Of course, you got Swift here. There we go. This should have what we're looking for in here somewhere. So yeah, ISO is a standard for electronic data interchange between financial institutions. It's going to have cross-border payments, security trading, payment transactions, settlement information, credit and debit cards, all that stuff. It's managed by the Working Group 4 and the ISO committee. The Working Group 4, they don't have anything. The Working Group 4. You can see where this takes you. This is the level we're talking about here, people. This isn't your grandma's crypto where you got people pounding the table with pizza boxes and race cars. No, this is legit. This talks about some more of the people, but we don't need to get into that either. I was trying to see if it listed. And keep in mind, the ISO 2022, it is coming out in stages, and it is actually actively taking place. They probably have it somewhere on here, I bet. This is their main product that they're pushing everywhere. Does it say anything anywhere? Oh, I'm not going to waste time in the video trying to find it. I posted it before. It's there. So this is those two companies merging. This is kind of how they want it to work, You have this, they get their money and all their stuff. They want to send it, boom, 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 boom. I'm not going to read all this just because I wasted enough time on Ripple's website. But, if you want to pause it and read it, it is pretty cool how it works. Moving on to that. This is just saying more about them joining forces. You can pause that also. And then this came from a Goldman Sachs page yesterday or the day before. What's interesting, the page has now been taken down. So, but I was on the website. It was the same website. I double checked the URL. I'm not going to post it if it looked sketchy, but it is now gone. So, which I thought was interesting. So, here they have in orange is your financial payment blockchains. They got Bitcoin on here potentially, and then they have Ripple, programmable app blockchains, Ethereum, which is by far the most developed network in all of crypto. As far as like a wide range of use case goes. So decentralized and security, they're kind of over here. You see right between scalability and security, you got Ripple sitting right next to the G7 central banks. That is a big deal. Let's see if the link works now. Yeah, that's interesting because it was definitely on their website. G7 members. So if they're going to be handling all of that, You have the United States, Japan, Germany, Britain, France, Italy, and Canada. They have strong influence over multilateral decisions. Excuse me. You know, they're going to be backing a 15+% global tax minimum. These people make decisions, guys. Speaking of decisions, the IRS wants some tools for cracking crypto wallets. The agency's digital forensic unit wants to tame the cybersecurity research into measured, repeatable, consistent digital forensics processes. This is interesting. You know, I think this is only going to go so far. We're talking about cryptography here. I mean, the computers you need to work this stuff backwards are ridiculous. That's why it's hard to do. So we'll see about that. They are mainly talking about wallets, it looks like. So maybe, I guess I could see, I don't know. Keep an eye on that, though. Here's something that's a little fun.
When you get older, putting underwear on becomes like almost like riding a roller coaster. It's a thrill ride. You get one leg in, and you start to try to put the other leg in, and the other leg, somehow the hole disappears. I don't know how the hole disappears, but it just goes away. And then you start hopping. Now you're moving. Now, I used to be hell on a pogo stick as a kid, and that comes in handy, but it's dangerous. And that leg hole gets smaller and smaller the older you get. You find yourself hopping around. I will say that I do now know why all those old people have those "I've fallen, can't get up" necklaces, because they're probably hopping around trying to put their underwear on and fall down the stairs. And so I've even thought about getting one of them. I'm falling, can't get up, because I was trying to put my underwear on.
Just a little Morgan and Morgan action for my Florida peeps. I know you guys are definitely familiar with him. Just to move on quickly, let's look at some charts real quick. This is just Bitcoin. We had our major drop down, did a full retracement up to the 702, which we did break. We attempted to gain support. We got rejected, tried to get support again, got rejected, tried to break again, got rejected, and now we are down here. You're never going to get a straight line up, guys. You got a straighter line up than we did down, which is usually not the case. I think it's interesting. You know, this would have been, well, I'll just draw with my cursor. You see the angle it would have been in, and then this is just boom. I mean, it's at the same V shape as this, which was, you know, super dramatic. So I think the fact that we raged all the way up here that quick is just a sign of the confidence that's built in the market. I am hoping that we start to build some support right here around this 36,000 range, and hopefully we can get up above 38. The 702 level for the entire, before the drop happened, I pulled from up here, I marked it. It's 54,678. So when we get up around here, you want to pay attention, because that's where this happens. And that's where this happens. And, you know, with all this just happening, when it gets up there, if it takes something, you know, maybe it's not going to be this dramatic, but if you get one of these, I mean, people might just lose it. So I would be very, very cautious when we get up there. Not financial advice, definitely what I'll be doing. That's where the stable coins come into play. Very similar thing here. I was trying to map out just this main movement over the last couple days, and as you see, bloop, right to the 702 where it got rejected one more time, and now we are down here in the exact same spot basically as Bitcoin. This is the total altcoin market cap. Here at the bottom is the relative strength index, and you'll see, you know, down here where the dip was, it's saying it's way oversold, obviously. You got right up here above the 702, and it was saying it was overbought, and here we are down here. And, you know, if you're going by relative strength index, I would say right now would even be a good entry point. Again, that's not financial advice, just going by this and some of these factors. You don't really, when you see your RSIs up here, I wouldn't buy something. Like, I mean, it could continue to rage, but that's dangerous. If it's down here, these are buying opportunities typically. You got to kind of combine this with what's going on and news and this, that, and the other. And then onto the XRP chart, which is going to be looking very, very similar. Again, I pulled it from the top of this main downward movement after the two big dips a couple days ago. And you'll see It came and kissed the 702. It didn't break it. It just wicked it. So we really didn't even get above here yet, which is the 618. And now we're down here trying to gather some support. And you can see right here, we had support. Historically, there was support there. This is also where it broke out. So this should be a strong area. I'm confident, or I'm hopeful, I should say. I don't want to say confident because that could be misleading. I'm hopeful that this will continue to carry us up and continue on, even if it's gradual. I mean, if we got to crank it out, I have multiple 702s pulled here. This is from right before the major drop. It would be at 139 for XRP. And then if you went by from the all-time high for this market cycle, not ever, this would be the main 702. So between 140 and 156, I would expect a reactionary move on the chart. You'll notice when we get around these 702s and like some of these breakout moments, news will happen right when it's supposed to create an event. I don't know. It's interesting, but with that, I'm gonna go ahead and hop off here and try to get this out to you guys this morning. You guys have a good day and keep on your toes. You don't know what's gonna go on in this market. See ya.